Good evening, believers. How are you doing today? This is Love Coach Tasha coming to you today for the Healing Hour Live. Now, if you have never been with me before, I'm a special type of coach, all right? I am specifically for women who want to heal and reconcile after infidelity. You have been cheated on. Yes, you have, but you're not ready to leave yet. This is still your person. This is still somebody you love very dearly. There are reasons, but mostly it's just because you want to. Okay? I am here for you. I am here specifically for you so that you can figure out how to stay after this huge trauma of infidelity has happened to you. Okay? So, you may have seen me posting more online. I'm trying to get more conversation started. Go to one of my reels, interact. Let me know if you have questions, comments, thoughts about what it is that I'm saying in those reels. I want to hear from you. I want to hear the good stuff that you are learning, and I want to hear the questions that you have because I designed this around you. I designed this for the women who are staying, and then what it is that they need to be able to stay. The questions that you have, the issues that you are feeling, the ache in your heart. I want to know about it. Put it in the comments. Okay? So let me make sure I can see everything over here. Now, I am currently on Facebook, Love Coach Dasha, and Facebook, Love After Cheating. That is my group. If you have not joined Love After Cheating, you need to come on, get on in there. That's where all the ladies are, okay? That's where we are at when we are trying to have an environment where it's not all criticism. It's not, oh, I can't believe you stayed. You're so stupid. You're a doormat. There is none of that in Love After Cheating. You are staying. They are staying. We're all staying. We're not beating each other up about it. Okay? All right. I am also live on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. And I am also, I'm gonna get myself together over there on Instagram. I really am. All right. So, okay, good. Can see everything. So, like I said, if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, anything about how to heal and reconcile after infidelity, put it in the comments. I got you. I'm going to answer any questions that come. Okay. So, we always talk about the trauma of infidelity and what you can do to start to reverse the effects of that trauma on your body, on your brain. I want you to understand that it is completely normal. The way that you're feeling, the things that you're going through are completely normal. Your body is doing exactly what it's designed to do. But you are the pilot here. This is an autopilot system that you're on. It kicks in when something that feels dangerous, that feels scary happens. But you're still the pilot. You can turn that off and get back in control. So I want to teach you the things that you can start to do right this minute to put you back in the pilot seat, okay? So first things first, I always want you to remember, do your deep breathing. Have you been doing your deep breathing? If you have not, I need you to jump on that. That is super important. We need to reverse the breathing of I am panicked, I want to fight, I want to run. We need to reverse that breathing and do the opposite of it. So that breathing, that fight or flight response breathing, that's very shallow. You pant, you barely exhale. You're just constantly sucking in more oxygen. Your muscles need more oxygen when you're getting ready to fight or you're getting ready to run. That's why your body does that. But we can do the opposite of that and teach our bodies that we're safe, that we do not need to get ready to fight or run right this minute. And then you will be in a clearer state of mind to be able to deal with your honey in a more productive manner. Okay? So what we do is 4-7-8 breathing. Now you can do whatever breathing you like, honey, as long as you're doing it. 478 breathing is just the one that I like. What you do is empty out your lungs. You want to blow. You want to make the sound of blowing. We are creating a trigger in our brains that when we make that sound, that's the sound of I am calming down now. Okay. You're going to blow out as much as you possibly can, making the noise. You're going to inhale through your nose if you can for a count of 4. You're going to hold that breath for a count of 7 so that your body has time to pick up those little oxygen molecules and actually use them. And then we're going to blow out like we're blowing out an entire cake full of birthday candles for a count of 8. Very, very simple. If you've never done it with me before, try it. You'll get it real quick. Okay, we're going to do it 3 times for the sake of time in the live, but I want you to do this 5 times a day, 5 times in a row, 5 times every day. Okay, set an alarm in your phone so that you remember to do it. The more consistent you are with it, the faster you're going to bring your anxiety down, the faster you're going to be calm. Okay. All right, so we're going to do our deep breathing together. Join me. First things first, blow out. Breathe in through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. How do you feel when you do your deep breathing? Put it in the comments. Let me know if there is a change in your body when you do your deep breathing, okay? All right. Next thing that we're always going to talk about when we get together, trying to defeat this trauma in your body and your brain, because trauma is a physical thing. We are going to do our journaling. Have you been doing your journaling? I need you to just pick a journal and get on that, okay? People get caught up in what kind of journal should I use and what kind of pen. Don't get caught up. Pick up a book that it looks fun to write in and write in it, okay? That's it. That's all you got to do. It ain't got to be difficult. All right, it can be anything. It can be modern. It can be one of those old leather ones. You can get anything you want as long as you will write in it. Now, you are going to write twice a day to start with. Okay, first thing in the morning when you get up, about 5 minutes. You don't need to do too much more than that. And then at night before you get ready to go to bed, you've done your bedtime routine. You've settled yourself in. Drink a little cup of chamomile tea. Journal in your journal for about 5 minutes. When you're doing this, you are taking the things that are top of brain at your most vulnerable times. In the first thing in the morning, when you are first waking up, when your day is getting on track, and then right before you go to bed, which is going to determine how you're going to be able to sleep, how you're going to feel when you get up in the morning, if you're going to have nightmares. So you're going to do your journaling at those 2 times so you can take the thoughts out of your head and put them down on paper. When you use pen and paper, your body, your brain sees that as that's permanent. That is out there in the world with her. So she can't forget. So I can let it go now. It is such a relief to your brain when you write it down in your journal, because that's the special book. So you're writing it in the special book and you're going to remember it later on. You can come back to it anytime. Your brain will let you rest then. Your brain will let you think then. So practice those 2 times, only about 5 minutes. I don't want you writing 20 minutes at a stretch, making your hand cramp up and not wanting to do it again. Okay. That's what happens a lot with the journaling. People get carried away. You start filling up pages. You start talking about what's going on in your head, all the thoughts. You want them to kind of come out because it feels pretty good to start when you start writing. But if you keep writing past the point where your hand feels good, the next time you go to write, you'll remember that it was associated with pain and you won't want to do it. So 5 minutes, even if you do it throughout the day, it's fine if, at lunchtime, you're like, hey, I got something goes in my journal. You take 5 minutes and write in your journal right before you get ready to eat dinner. Something is nagging at my head. This is a repetitive thought. Let me write it down. Feel free. But again, we're not going past 5 minutes so that we want to write. We don't want to make it so we mess this up for ourselves. Okay. All right. Your date, your time, and your level of anxiety are going to go in your journal entry. Your date and your time are going to give you clear, specific times things happen, and then you'll be able to figure out some triggers. You'll know if a day triggers you. You'll know if a certain time triggers you. You'll know if a season triggers you. You'll know if Halloween decorations trigger you. You will know because you will be writing about it in your journal, and you'll be writing down the things that are top of mind, the things that are at the surface that your brain wants you to know the most because they are the loudest thoughts. So you will be able to pick up on how your triggers work with the dates and times. Your level of anxiety. Your level of anxiety, 0 to 10. 0 is no anxiety whatsoever. Everything is great. All is right with the world. Write that down. If you don't remember that you have good days, the good days just fade away. They'll be gone. You won't remember. Your brain, when you're traumatized, will tell you that everything is bad and it's always bad. But if you write in your journal, hey, this is a big old 0 day, and you put that in the top corner, every time you're feeling like everything is bad, you can flip through and see all the times that you said, actually, no, I had a fine day that day. Things are all right. I went to work. I did what I was supposed to do. I barely even thought about him cheating. You will know that that is happening because you've written it down in your journal, and then you'll be able to tell your brain it's a dirty liar and not to lie to you. Okay? All right. So a 10. A 10 is an absolute loss of control. A 10 is I want to rip my hair out, tear my clothes off, run screaming down the street naked. Okay? That's how lost you are in the moment if you're a 10. Just accept the fact that you're out of control, recognize it, try and reel yourself in a little bit. But there's nothing that you're going to be able to do. There's nothing that he's going to be able to do if you're at a 10. So you kind of just got to let it fizzle itself out, calm yourself back down, and then go do some self-care. Get away from him for a little while so you don't ratchet back up to a 10. Okay? All right. So y'all let me know if you've been writing in your journals. How is that for you? I love my journal. I write in my journal, not every day right now. Things have been busy, but like every 2 days, I'm making sure that I write things in my journal, things that I want to remember, quotes, things that make me happy, things that I saw that seem like a sign. I write those things down. I write those things down in my journal so that later on I can go back and I can kind of reminisce and I can put things together and I can remember well. When you're traumatized like this, you think that your memory is super great and it's not. So if you are journaling on a regular basis, it's going to help you to form long-term memories a lot better than just trying to remember on your own. Trauma interferes with the actual making of long-term memories. So if you are writing things down, you will have a record even if your brain didn't record it. Okay? All right. Next thing that I'm always going to tell you every time we get together, hun, I want you to develop an attitude of gratitude. I know it doesn't feel like there's a lot to be grateful for right now. However, with this trauma comes grief. Grief is about a loss of some kind. You lost the way you thought of him. You lost the trust that you had. You lost that pedestal he was up on. Okay, you're experiencing some grief. That is about loss. Gratitude is about what you have. So if you are intentionally leaning into, yes, I've lost things, but look at all that I have, and you are consistent about that, your brain will learn that that's what you're wanting to experience. That's what you're wanting to pay attention to. And so then it'll be like, oh, remember this? This is a thing that you were grateful for last time. Here, look how cool it is. And let me show you a thing that's like that. I am grateful today. I saw on TikTok, not TikTok, I saw on Instagram. This lady was there's this farm was, letting people hold baby goats. And this lady came up and she was so thrilled to hold a baby goat. The joy in her sparked joy in me. It made tears come to my eyes because she was so happy that she got to hold the baby goat. Okay. I'm glad things like that are in the world. I'm glad that there are people who thought, hey, you know what would cheer people up? You know what would make people happy? To be able to hold a baby goat. Let's take the baby goats that we have and bring them to the streets and let people be happy. I'm grateful for that. I am grateful that somebody thought of that. Somebody decided that they wanted to bring some joy into the world. And so then that gives me something to be grateful for, gave her something to be grateful for, gave everybody watching something to be grateful for. That is a beautiful thing about gratitude. When you share it, when you experience it, and you're wanting to share it. So then when you share it with other people, they get to experience that joy too. So you get to spread joy even in your darkest days. You can spread joy. I am grateful for compliments to women. I am a stickler for anytime I see a woman, especially a mom, and her jeans make her butt look good, I make sure to tell her. I make sure I share that joy. I'm like, hey, girl, your butt looks fabulous in those jeans. The biggest smiles, the biggest. They're grateful to hear that. Like, dang, I was wondering. I felt like it felt pretty good. Thank you so much. They're grateful for that. When you are experiencing that and you share that, you feel good, and then you make other people feel good around you. So I want you to be practicing gratitude so that you can share it with others, so you can put it out there into the world. And that's why I do Thirsty Thursdays. That's why I talk to you about all of this. I want you to share with me things that you're grateful for. Put them in the comments. Let me know what makes you feel grateful. What makes you feel like, sometimes things go wrong in life, but this good thing is a thing that's in my life. It makes me happy. Here, let me share. I want to hear those things. So put them in the comments. Let me know if you have experienced something that you're feeling grateful for today. Okay. Let me check and make sure anybody got anything. Don't see anybody on love after cheating. Nobody on Love Coach Dasha, and nobody on Facebook. Nobody on YouTube. Okay. All right. Just making sure. I want to keep looking out for y'all. I don't want you to think that I've forgotten about you. All right. The last thing that I'm always going to tell you about trying to get this trauma under control for yourself is I need you to stop asking him all those questions. I know you want to. I know that it is yearning to ask these questions, right? You feel like you need and you deserve the answers. You do deserve the answers, but you don't deserve the trauma response that the answers are actually going to bring about. When you keep on asking these questions, that's not coincidental. That happens to all of us. There's a reason it happens to all of us, because it's a trauma response. It is your brain deeming this person a threat, and you want to ask all the questions you can possibly ask and get all the answers and information that you can, because you need to make sure that this threat is not a threat to you anymore. And so the more you do that, the more you are reinforcing in your brain that you believe this person is a threat. Okay, we cannot continue to do that if we want to be in a relationship with this person. So we have to stop doing that. Now, I know it's difficult. I do. I am a Gemini. I love to ask a question. I love to answer a question. So I get why it's difficult, but I'm telling you, for your own good, for your own healing, it makes more sense for you to just cut it off. Stop asking the questions. After a certain point, there's really nothing more you're going to understand. You know that he cheated. You don't need too much more information than that to be able to heal. All the details just give you extra things to heal from. It's like it just is layer after layer after layer when it is betrayal. That's what it is all the way around. In every way, shape, and form, everything that he did, it was a betrayal. So we don't need to know the details and all the ins and outs and the inner workings of the betrayal. We don't need that. That's not going to stop it from happening again. If you did know every single solitary thing about it, it could happen a completely different way the next time. So that's not going to stop it from happening. What normally stops it from happening is actually healing together, actually reconciling. When you've given this person a chance, when you've given them the opportunity to really have forgiveness, to really be forgiven there, and for you to actually move on from there, most of the time they are not going to want to go back. They are not going to want to mess it up again because it's already a miracle they got it in the first place. There have been plenty of people, I'm sure, that said that they forgave him and didn't really forgive him, and then it didn't work out. If you're actually serious about it and you go about the healing and the reconciling and the forgiving, and you get to the other side of it, they're going to try and make damn sure they never do anything to hurt you again because they've never experienced this before. Okay? So it's worth your while not to keep on asking the questions. Now, all that being said, I do understand that it is a trauma response. It's like an itch in your brain. It's like if you could reach in there and scratch it a little bit, it'd feel better. And asking the questions tends to scratch that itch a little bit, but it makes the rash worse. You're spreading the rash every time you scratch that itch, so it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's more and more overwhelming every time. So you feel like, I have to ask this question. If I don't ask this question, I can't be at peace ever. Okay, it gets worse. It makes the wound bigger. So instead of asking questions that are going to spread an infection, try these. All right. This is the and THEAND from the good people at the Skin Deep. And this is excellent questions to ask. This is the healing edition. And it is all questions about connection, about coming together. Okay. Not about what sex positions were you in with her, and did you tell her you loved her, and all the layers of the infidelity. It's not about that. It's about real connection with the person that you love, trying to bring you closer together. So give you a couple of these, and you only need about 2-3 of them for each of you to have a good 40-minute conversation. All right, half hour, 40 minutes. That's good. You don't need to go further than that. Okay. Let's see. Okay, this one could be about the infidelity. All right. Describe a turning point in our relationship. Why was it important to you? Could be about the infidelity, could be something else. You might answer this the infidelity. He might answer this completely different turning point that you didn't even know existed. That's a good question. It's a good question to reconnect, to understand something from their point of view and not just your own. Okay. Oh, let's see. Oh, they got fill in your own question. All right. Don't make them all about cheating. All right. This one says, what was the last thing to happen that challenged our trust in one another? I'm coming up with the ones that could be about cheating today, but it don't all have to be like that. What was the last thing that happened that challenged our trust in one another? And one more here. What direction do you see me heading in? That's a good question, right? Wouldn't you like to know what direction he sees you heading in? What if he says he sees you heading directly away from him? Wouldn't you like to know that he thinks that? Wouldn't you like to know that that's the direction it looks like you're going? All right, we got to know these things. If you know these things, if you ask these good questions, it's going to create connection between you. The questions about the affair and what he did and where he was and all of the details, it's not going to help you. It's not going to help you heal. Okay. Those questions are not designed by your brain to help you heal. They are designed to give you more ammunition against them in the long term. Okay? All right. All of that, we got all of the practices. I call those the practices of things that you can do right now to start to stem the tide of this trauma on your body and brain. These are all things that if you start doing them, you are starting to reverse some of the effects of the trauma on you. Okay? Lovely, lovely. All right, we're going to move on a little bit to today's lesson. Get a pen and paper handy if you need to. I got things to talk about today. All right, so can I ask you a question? Have you ever had one of those moments where you thought, well, that did it. I just ruined all my progress. It's over. I have stepped over a line. I've gone back to square one. All the progress that I made has poof, disappeared. Have you felt like that? Put it in the comments if you have. It could be anything. It could be you went through his phone again. It could be you could not stop crying and yelling at him. You could have been interrogating full Columbo over there. All right. You could have been trench coat and everything, asking every question in the book under the hot lights. Is that you? You could have spent the whole evening or the whole night as you were trying to sleep replaying every single detail, going through the evidence that you have in your phone. All right. And then you felt ashamed because you thought you were doing well, but now it feels like you've gone all the way back to the beginning of your healing, right? I am here to tell you that you did not go all the way back to square one. That is not what happened. You were triggered. You were triggered, and it is not fun. And sometimes it will cause you to spiral out of control. You will not be able to see a reason why you shouldn't shout and throw things and lose your mind. It happens to the best of us. Honey, it happened to me. All right. I'm 6 feet tall. I am not a dainty little thing to be hollering and screaming. Okay. I'm hollering and screaming, people across the street here. All right. So you're not alone if this has happened to you. But I want to talk to you a little bit about what you're needing to do to get back in control after that spiral has happened. You probably didn't ruin your entire healing process. That's probably not what happened. One moment or one freak out does not define your healing. It is not going to send you all the way back to the very beginning just because you lost it today. Okay? The old definition of your healing was, oh, I never spiral anymore. I am completely at peace with him at all times. We never have any issues. I never freak out at all. Okay? That's an old definition, and it's not a very good one. Okay? The new definition, the one we're working with, is I recover faster. Yes, the freak out happened. Yes, I lost it for a minute. I spiraled out of control. However, this is not day one of my healing. I can recover, and I can recover faster than I did back then. All right. That is healing. That is consistently going forward, trying your very best to do better than you did the last time. That's what that is. So, healing really isn't about avoiding that spiral. It's about making it shorter than it was the last time. The last time, yeah, it sucked. It really did. And it probably lasted a day. If you can get it down to half a day, you're doing better. You are healing. It is actually a better situation if you can do that. One trigger is not sending you back to the very beginning of your healing. It just sends you a couple of steps backwards, makes you feel a little bit off for a little while, and then you move forward. So repair is a part of healing. You've actually got to repair some things. So let me introduce the repair framework for getting back into control of yourself after you've spiraled. Okay. The R for repair is to recognize. you've got to recognize that you're actually spiraling. It's hard sometimes. It will sneak up on you and you won't realize that you are spiraling until you are well dizzy and out there. Okay. We've got to start recognizing the spirals sooner. A very good way to do that is to pay attention to your body. When you are feeling that fight or flight response, that tends to be what happens when you spiral. So if you start to get those symptoms, if your heart starts to race, if your vision narrows down, if your palms get sweaty, if you clench your teeth, if it feels like you can't swallow, if it feels like your stomach just dropped out, those are all signs that your body is in fight or flight mode. It is preparing you to fight or to run. So if you can recognize those things in the moment, just paying attention to your body, you can recognize that, oh, I'm spiraling. I'm not totally in control of myself right now. Okay. Just the realization is powerful. Just to understand and recognize it in the moment instead of like once the moment is completely gone and you've spent yourself acting a fool. No, when it starts, when your body starts to react, if you can recognize it, then you will shorten the duration of the spiral dramatically. Okay. Um, E is for exhale. Okay. Remember, I teach you about the deep breathing, exhaling and getting excess carbon dioxide out of your lungs teaches your body that, hey, I am safe enough to actually just exhale. And then your body's like, oh, well, if she's safe enough to be able to do that, then we must not be about to get eaten right now. So it might be all right. And your body will start to calm down, start to help you regulate. You are not trying to solve anything at this point. No, you're not trying to solve anything. You're just trying to breathe. You're just trying to blow out and get back in contact with your body, regulate it. Then we're going to do a pause for the P. Don't text, don't accuse, don't call, don't go over there, don't go downstairs, don't trap them in a corner. Do not. Just pause for a minute. Now we have recognized we're in a spiral. We have done a little breathing. We're just pausing and sitting in the moment. Get yourself a glass of water. Drink a couple swallows of water. All right. Get yourself in a place where you don't feel like you have to react right this second. We can shorten, we can lengthen the duration of time between feeling the spiral and reacting to the spiral. The spiral is going to get shorter. Okay. A is for ask yourself, okay, wait, is this my intuition? Chances are it's not. Chances are it's not. We talked about that last week. Your fear screams, your intuition, your wisdom, it's going to whisper to you. So if it's loud in your head, that's not your intuition. That's your fear. It is the trauma surfacing and making you afraid that something bad is going to happen to you now. Check out what story you're telling yourself. What story is it that is going through my brain? If you need to, sit down with your journal for a second and write it out. Okay, what is the story that I'm telling? And sketch it out a little bit. Just again, we're taking a moment. We're not doing anything with the relationship at all. We are just trying to get back in control of ourselves. We want to wrestle back control from the automatic pilot. Okay. I is to intentionally choose. Okay. We're choosing the one next wise step. That's it. Nothing more than that. One wise thing that you can do, be it grabbing your keys and going for a drive, be it taking a minute and doing a little self-care, be it stepping outside and going and dealing with the plants on the porch. That's my thing. All right. Whatever it may be, one next wise step that is not about him. Okay. That is not a confrontation. That is not, let me get amped up again. We've got to, again, keep that fight or flight response under control. Got to bring it down. choose that one wise step and then go do it. Okay. Swear. It's like, yes, you see it. You're like, oh yeah, I could go take a hot shower. And then you don't do it. Go do it. Okay. That you got to intentionally choose to do it too. Okay. All right. The next step is the R of reconnect. Okay. We've done all of that trying to reconnect with him. First things first is reconnecting with yourself. Ground yourself. Feel yourself in your body. Use your senses. What are 5 things that you feel right now? What are 3 things or 4 things that you can hear right now? What are 3 things that you can smell right now? Engage your senses. Make them do some work, because your senses are not as activated when you're in fight or flight. They're calmer. They are like, hey, this is the danger right in front of us. Let's fight. All right. It's not really sensing things around you. So if you bring yourself back into your body and start to sense things again, you're going to be able to calm yourself. You're going to be able to reconnect with yourself. Again, we ain't got to start with him. Okay. The next thing is to reconnect to your values. Okay. Is it your value to have an argument where you're just screaming and hollering and telling him how crazy he is? Is that your values? Is that who you want to be? Who do you actually want to be? Sit down. Okay, if I am healed from this, if this is all over and we are back to good, and I'm feeling healed and we have reconciled, what would I choose to do then? Not, what would I do in the heat of the moment? We're not worried about that. We've got to reconnect to who we would really be at our best, not at our worst. So sit down with your journal. Think about that. What are your values? Do you feel like you are still in alignment with your values right now? If you're not, if you're thinking about doing all sorts of things that are out of character for you, you're not in alignment with your values. You can go all the way back to the beginning and start all over again. You can recognize that it's a freak out. You can start to exhale. You can pause. You can do it all over again. If you realize that you are not in alignment with where you would actually like to be, go ahead and do the whole thing all over again. Okay? Doesn't hurt a thing. Doesn't hurt a thing to be more cautious, to do better. All right? Doesn't hurt anything. And then, after all of that is done, then maybe you can reconnect in your relationship. Then maybe we can work on that. Maybe we can have a conversation. Maybe we can cuddle. Maybe we can watch a movie. You can focus on that once you've gotten back in control of yourself. Your body, when you are spiraling, you're out of control. It's a 10. You are at that point where you're out of control of yourself. And so you can't be thoughtful. You can't be intentional. You are just doing things, lashing out because your body and your brain says, alert, alert, fight or run or die. That's what your brain is screaming at you. So if we can get back in control of that, then maybe we can start to make some reconnection inside the relationship. Okay? All of that first. All right. So, I always tell you about the fact that it's been 18 years for me. And this is not a skill that I only used back then. This is a skill I still use today. Okay. That's why I know how to do it, is even under the best of circumstances, I still have a husband who has bipolar disorder. I still have somebody who makes me, some of the time, I just want to lose it. Some of the time, I am just out of control. I am spiraling. I am upset. I am hurt. And it doesn't have to have anything to do with the cheating. At this point, it never does. It's not about that. It is a reaction when you're upset and something has been happening consistently and you feel like you're not being heard. You kind of tend to spiral out. You get a little triggered. When this started, when I first started spiraling because of the cheating, though, it took forever. It was the longest process. It was days of me just not being able to do anything but yell at him, not being able to stop myself, not being able to move forward. I couldn't let it go. My head would hurt, my mouth would be dry, my throat would be killing me because I've been yelling. And of course, he's bipolar, so he's not really doing well with the yelling either. So he's yelling too. We are just spiraling together. All right, just free fall. Okay. It used to last days on end. I remember, and that was hard. That was a very difficult time for us when I felt justified. And I think that's a lot of what it is. When you've been hurt, it feels justified to just lose it, to just go ahead and spiral out, to go ahead and say everything that is on your brain in that moment. It feels justified. But the thing is, and I got to tell myself this too. Just because you feel justified doesn't mean that you're doing the right thing. I know. That sucks. It sucked for me too. I know. Because I was like, but I'm justified. But he's wrong. But I am also losing my mind for days at a time. Am I not wrong for that? Yeah. Okay, fine. I am. All right. And recognizing that was key. That was helpful to understand that, oh, I'm spiraling and I haven't been able to stop for days, and I wouldn't want to be treated like that. Damn it, I guess I gotta stop. All right. But it would be days. Okay. Now it can be over in a half hour. I can start the spiral, recognize the spiral before it gets out of control, feel the feelings stir up, and then not react like that, not lose my mind for 2 whole days in a row. I can do that now. I can stop myself at not always. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm perfect. I cannot stop myself always, but I can make that spiral shorter and shorter and shorter, and I make it shorter and shorter each year that I go on. Okay. Each year that I still try this, that I still am applying this to regular arguments that we are having, I can still shorten that spiral and make it so that it doesn't last days on days on days and makes me miserable and makes him miserable and makes the whole house miserable. I can do that. Okay. So today is better. Today is much better. Today is, I can recognize the spiral. I can talk myself out of it a good deal of the time. I not always. I am not perfect, but most of the time I can talk myself out of the spiral, and then I don't have to feel bad for days on end. I can feel a little bit bad about what is happening in the moment, but it is much easier to address what's happening in the moment if you're not spiraling. If you're spiraling out of control, nothing's getting addressed, nothing's getting fixed, nothing's getting better. So it helps me more in the long term not to spiral. Again, I'm not perfect. I do. Okay. I still do. Much, much shorter now, though. Much faster. And that's what you should be going for. The thing is, people will tell you that, oh, the only reason that you are healed is because you never spiral out of control. Remember we talked about that? I am saying that that is a totally natural thing to have happen. That when we have been traumatized, sometimes our bodies do things before we even recognize that they're doing them. That's why the whole first step is to recognize it, because even without you knowing, it will fall into the spiral. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, hell, where am I? Okay. You won't even know that it's happening, and then it's happening. So I want you to know that healing means recognizing it sooner and then shortening the length of it. Okay. Yeah, you let me know in the comments. Does that seem like something that you would like to do? Shorten the length of the spirals that you were having. I understand it's real difficult when the spirals go on for days and days. Wouldn't you like for it to be half a day, couple hours? Wouldn't that be better? Wouldn't that feel better? I want you to feel better. I want you to be showing yourself the progress that you can make by making the progress. Okay. So Do you know how I know that I'm healed from all that? It's not because fear just never shows up for me anymore. And it's not because I have just never spiraled again. Again, I have. Um, it's because I know how to come back from it now. I am not stuck out there in space anymore, spiraling away, totally lost, no bearings, no ability to get back home. I am not doing that anymore. I am not just out there completely out of control of myself for long periods of time. I know how to slow down that spiral, how to bring myself back to the planet that I lived on faster, kinder, um, way wiser. And it's every single time. I know how to do it. I am not lost anymore. And that's how you know that you're healing, because you don't get lost in the spiral anymore. You feel the spinning of the spiral and you lock your eyes on something still and you try to ground yourself and you get back sooner. Okay? That's my main thing for you today. I don't want you to feel like you can never spiral out and that all is lost if you do. If you do, it is just a matter of getting back sooner. Okay? So you tell me, what's one spiral that you have recovered from faster now than you would have a year ago? Put it in the comments. What is the growth you've seen with your ability to recognize that you're spiraling out, to slow the spiral down, and then to start coming back the other way? There is a lot of growth in that, okay? There's a lot. That is a lot of self-control. That is a lot of awareness. That is a lot of discipline. So if you are any shorter with some of the spiral that you have been having now than you were about a year ago, you are making progress. You are healing. You are doing the work. So give yourself a pat on the back and put it in the comments so you can brag about it to other people. Okay? All right. I think that's it for the lesson. I want you to spend less time spiraling. I do. And I want you to feel like if you are spiraling, if you really feel like there is something you have got to say, you have controlled yourself for a long enough period that this is serious. Because if you spiral all the time, if everything is urgent, nothing is an emergency, basically. So if you're spiraling all the time, he's not going to take you as seriously. He's not going to believe that it's an emergency because, oh, she does this all the time. She spirals all the time. It's a common thing. It's regular now. You want it to be a special occasion when you spiral, okay? It needs to be important when you do spiral, all right? You need him to know that, hey, I have been in control of myself for quite some time. However, I am kind of losing it right now because this is super important. You really need to know about it, all right? If you can do that, if you can start to space out the spirals, he is going to pay more attention when you do it because it has been so long. And he's like, oh, I thought we stopped doing this. It must be big trouble. All right. Instead of, oh, we did this last week and 3 days ago. And yeah, that's not a big emergency. You don't want him to not take you seriously. And spiraling on a regular basis makes him not take you seriously. Okay. All right. Good stuff today. Good stuff. So one more thing. I was telling you about the practices earlier today. I was telling you about doing your deep breathing, doing your journaling, doing your gratitude practice, and not asking him all those questions. But I got one more for you, okay? I need you to be doing your affirmations. Have you been doing affirmations? You lovely, beautiful, forgiving, compassionate creature, you? Have you been doing your affirmations? If not, start tonight. Okay? I want you to look yourself in the eye and repeat the affirmation like you mean it. Say it different ways. Like if you're an actor, say it in different ways, different pitches, different emphasis on the words. I am beautiful. I am beautiful. I am beautiful. All right? Over and over and over again till you've hit one that really sounds like you actually believe it, and repeat that over and over again. Okay. Now I have a set of affirmations, 60 days of affirmations for women who are trying to heal and reconcile. If you would like that, go ahead and put affirmation in the comments. I'll get right back to you about that. But this deck came from Five Below. All right. Just my affirmation cards, just picking one on a regular basis. All right. So, this is a good one for the spiral conversation. This affirmation says, today I am healthy. Today my mind, my heart, and my soul are one healthy being. All right. We are not losing our shit right now. We are in control. We are connected. We are aligned. We are in control of ourselves and we are not spiraling. We are the pilot of this plane. We have taken off the autopilot. We're just not letting that be in control. We are in control. If you can get to being healthy. So today I am healthy. Today my mind, my heart, and my soul are one healthy being. And that one healthy being is in control of herself and she's flying this plane. Damn it. All right. Fantastic. All righty, y'all. So I do want you all to know that I love you very much and I am very, very proud of you. I know how bad you hurt. I know because I've been there, I've experienced it. I have been in that devastation that you have been in, but you are still choosing love. You found love, and the pain of this has shown you how deep the love actually must go because you're willing to forgive. You are willing to offer compassion and understanding to someone who, by all rights, you don't have any reason to give it to. It's just the fact that you love this person. It's just the fact that you feel connected, that you want this life with this person. And I think that's some of the bravest stuff you can do on this planet, to know that, yes, this person has hurt me. Yes, we have experienced some pain. However, this person is still worth it to me. This love, this relationship is still worth it to me. And yes, there may be some pain, but there is also lots and lots of good, and I want to experience the good. I want to try my very best to get back to the love and the understanding and the compassion that I felt for this person before this betrayal. I think you're remarkable for that. That's why I want to help you. That's why I want to be your coach, because I think that that is beautiful and strong. And I am proud to know any woman who is choosing herself, even when the pain and the fear are screaming at her, she's still choosing to follow love. I love women like that. I want to help you. So if you would like to get on a call with me, I have a few slots for my after infidelity clarity calls. You can get on a phone call with me. You can talk to me for about 45 minutes. And that last 15 minutes, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to go forward right now. All right. 3 things that you can do starting from right here, as soon as that conversation ends, to be able to start to heal this relationship, to be able to get through the trauma and through the fear. I want to help you do that. Put call in the comments and I will reach out to you with the details about getting on a call with me. Okay? But until then, until I get to talk to you, my love, I want you to remember to do your deep breathing, to do your journaling, to do your gratitude practice, to stop asking him all those questions about the affair, and to do your affirmations. But more than anything, I want you not to listen to what the fear and the pain tell you to do. The fear and the pain will tell you that it's perfectly okay for you to just spiral on out, but that is not the healing path. After infidelity, it is a very specific path you need to walk in order to be healed, and that's not part of it. So if you can recognize the spiral and then get yourself back on the healing path by doing exactly the opposite of what the spiral is telling you to do, you're going to be on the healing path and you are going to get home faster. I need you to know there is an after infidelity. And I would love to meet you there. All right. So that is about it, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. Now, I am going to be back with you again next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't see any other questions, comments, or complaints. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Mwah. I love you, and I'm so, so proud of you. I'll see you again next week, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Healing Hour Live. Bye, y'all.